I got the opportunity to travel to Portugal to meet with the brand and to see how the shoes were actually made, because I could not believe that sneakers were made from apple skins. But it just shows you how creative human beings are, how much we are willing to find new creative solutions to make the world a better place.
Orbiting 250 miles above, the space station provides us with the ultimate view of planet Earth. From this perspective, we ask our guests to engage with 6 questions that orbit around wonder and stories of hopefulness. For the next few minutes, this is our Wonderspace.
Welcome to the 123rd episode of the Wonderspace Podcast. My name is Steve Cole, and over the past 3 years, I have asked the same 6 questions to amazing people from around the world. Questions that orbit around wonder and stories of hopefulness. This week on Wonderspace, we orbit with Edwina Kulego in New York, who is the Vice President of International and Business Development at Informa Markets Fashion. Edwina is also on the board of the Vegan Fashion Week based out of Los Angeles, and was nominated by the founder of Lagos Fashion Week, Omoyemi Akerele, who you can hear in episode 60. With this expansive overview of Earth, I start by asking Edwina, if we could do a fly past over any part of the world that is significant to you, which place, city or country would it be and why?
It is Ghana, West Africa, circa 1957, when Ghana gained their independence. It's the first sub-Saharan African country to gain independence from British colony. And I had a great uncle that I would visit when I spent summers in Ghana. And we would have very deep conversations about what life was like at that time and how they felt so free and they were optimistic about change and actually ruling their own nation. And so every time I think of him, he's now passed. I'm always thinking about his story about the day of independence.
Edwina, give us a glimpse into your life story so far with an emphasis on what you are doing currently.
I was born and raised in Sweden by Ghanaian parents. And I grew up in a multilingual home. We spoke Swedish, English, a little bit of Danish. We spoke Ga and Tree. And so early on in life, I found a passion for languages, for meeting different people, traveling the world. I did a study in Nantes, France. I did a study on the Catalan identity in Barcelona. Selfishly, I just wanted to go to Barcelona to watch the soccer games. But I just developed a passion for culture and learning new things. And I was able to kind of take that into my path in moving to New York at 19 to study fashion. And again, a melting pot in the world, New York City, meeting people from all over. And I've always wanted to bridge the gap between fashion and international business. And I'm so blessed to say that I run an international business development department in a fashion company. As we all know, Steve, fashion is one of the most toxic industries in the world. And I think now more than ever, there's so much conversation around what it means to be sustainable, whether you're a brand or you're a retailer or you're a consumer of fashion. I think we are all trying our best to make more responsible decisions in what we buy, how we buy it, who we buy it from, the packaging it comes in, if it has a social sustainability aspect, does it give back to a community that needs it? I'm on the board of Vegan Fashion Week, which is an incredible organization based in Los Angeles, founded by a good friend. Her name is Emmanuelle. We've worked together at the trade shows where she's been able to bring in designers that create products, vegan products. So they're sourcing cactus leather. There's a brand out of Portugal, for example, that makes sneakers out of apple skins. I got the opportunity to travel to Portugal to meet with the brand and to see how the shoes were actually made, because I could not believe that sneakers were made from apple skins. But it just shows you how creative human beings are, how much we are willing to find new creative solutions to make the world a better place. And Vegan Fashion Week really champions these young designers that are trying to find better ways to make product. She's a mentor in many ways. She has an amazing platform that everyone should check out. It's Vegan Fashion Week. And I'm super proud to be on the board. And I'm meeting with so many other board members and creatives who are doing groundbreaking things. It makes me feel like I'm not doing enough. Really, it's a great platform.
Where on earth is your place of reset or recharge?
Oh, this is a good one. My place of reset is in Malmo, where I was born and raised. We are, by a coast, so I usually would go to the beach as a kid, and it's right where the Turning Torso is. So I don't know if a lot of people know this building, but it's like, it has a very crooked kind of architectural shape. It's a tall building, one of the tallest in Malmo. It's used in a lot of images if you look up Malmo as a city. But there is a beach surrounding it. We used to call it Riban growing up. It's called Ribasboy. And when I go home, almost every time I've been back to Malmo since I moved to New York 15 years ago, I just go dip my feet in the water sometimes. If it's cold, I just kind of sit and observe for a good 10 minutes. If I'm at home right before the New Year or the holiday, I love to go and just kind of tune in and center myself in that space before the new year. Sometimes I have conversations with myself, with God, about my aspirations, what I want, what I don't want. But it's always a place when I think about peace. And sometimes in my therapy, I go to therapy every week. Thank God for therapy. My therapist will say, find your center or find your peaceful place. And she's like, what do you see when you want to center yourself and be at peace? And it's always that same beach, Riban in Malmo. I love it. And just thinking about it now, it just makes me feel so good. So that's my spot.
What wonder of the natural world excites you the most?
Well, so this is one that I think most people assume I've seen, the Northern Lights in Norway, because hello, she grew up in Sweden. Norway is so close. And I've never had the opportunity to go as a kid. Always have wanted to go. I have half siblings in Norway. And I'm always like, this year's the year I'm going to go. This year's the year I'm going to go. And then I got pregnant with my daughter, so we didn't go that year. And then the pandemic hit after that. So I've been prolonging it. But it's just gorgeous. Like when you see it in images, you just wonder, like, how is it going to be when you're there physically, seeing these beautiful lights? Now they're like hotels and resorts that are specifically positioned for the Northern Lights during winter. So yeah, I need to get my behind to Norway so I can see the Northern Lights.
Whilst orbiting around wonder, here is another 1-minute wonder from our friends at Ask Nature, who look to nature for inspiration to solve design problems in a regenerative way.
As it swims unharmed among the stinging tentacles of a sea anemone, a clownfish is protected by a thicker than average mucus coat, but exactly how it works remains something of a mystery. In order to release the barbs from their stinging cells, anemones must detect two signals, a chemical signature and a physical stimulation. The mucus coat may help with either or both. Physically, the thick, squishy layer may either absorb stings or avoid them by preventing direct stimulation of the cells. Chemically, some clownfish species may produce compounds that simply do not trigger an alert from the anemone. Others, however, must acclimate to the host by rubbing themselves on the tentacles over and over again. In so doing, they pick up chemicals produced by the anemone itself that may then signal that the fish is family.
Edwina, what is your story of hopefulness that's not your own, about a person, business or non-profit who are doing amazing things for the world?
I would love to give a shout out to a wonderful woman, a sister in many ways, and a mentor. Her name is Nana Akiwowo. Nana was one of the first people I met in New York when I moved here from Sweden. She happened to be from Ghana as well. We connected and clicked, and immediately she was like, how can I help? And she was able to get me my first internship at Essence Magazine, which was a big deal. But we stayed in touch, and recently, a few years ago, Nana and her co-founder founded Fourth Phase, which is a brand that supports women after they give birth. And as a mother now to a 5-year-old, I had no idea how rocky the postpartum road is and how little women, people, men in general, people in general, how little they speak of the fourth phase, which is when the baby comes, how challenging life is, how much you need to adjust, how your body changes, whether you have a cesarean or you have a natural birth. There are so many ways in which you can heal. There's community with other mothers who are looking for someone to talk to. And that's essentially what Fourth Phase has built. So they have a line of products to soothe and to help rebuild a woman's body after having birth. But the best part about Fourth Phase is it's a community where you can connect with other mothers, learn how they're healing, how they're adjusting to breastfeeding, which was a challenge for me. And I just really love what they've built. It's so thoughtful. It's so helpful. And I make sure that I gift a Fourth Phase box to anyone I know that has just given birth.
Finally, as we prepare to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere, what insight, wisdom, or question would you like to leave with us?
My insight for today would be to find comfort in the unknown. That is something that I have learned to do over the past couple of years. The pandemic probably triggered it. We were living in unusual times, times that we never thought would come. And I think that I know that I'm a planner at heart. I want to know what my next day looks like, next week, next month. It's the business side of me where I always have to have a plan and have an understanding of what's coming. And I have learned over the years to just lean into the unknown and to not be so fearful of what I don't know. And I find that now when I take the pressure off of knowing everything, I am discovering more new things about myself. My desire to just want to know everything and plan everything has taken a back seat, and it's been very helpful for me personally and also as a mother.
To find out more about the work of Edwina, go to edwinakulego.com. Also check out veganfashionweek.org. I want to thank Edwina for joining us on Wonderspace and for engaging with our 6 questions in such a brilliant way. We finish with a question to you, our listeners. What is your story of hopefulness that's not your own, about a person, business or non-profit who are doing amazing things for the world? A story that makes a name for someone else. Thanks for listening.